Hello. So my video is going to be a 5-minute lesson over how to change a wall plug. And so I work with Weiss Silverman ISD school maintenance, and this is something I do pretty often and just other work like this. But so this is something people should know because everyone uses wall plugs, but I'm sure more than 90% of people probably don't know how to change these out if something were to happen to it. So hopefully this video can help. And so first, you want to start when changing a wall plug. You want to test for power. And so I don't have mine right now, but you would want one of these. This is a dual range non-contact voltage tester. So what you would do is you would take this little tip here and you would put it in here, and it would tell you if there was electricity running through it by making sounds and flashing red or something. And so that is one of the tools you would want to use for this, along with a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. And then depending on where you're working, you might want a flashlight because it can be dark if you're shutting off power to places. But we have enough light here in my garage, so that'll be fine. And so after you test for power, you definitely want to cut off the power because you do not want to be working with live wires. I myself have been shocked multiple times, and it's not fun. So then after you cut the power off, you want to use your plug tester to test it again. I call it a tweaker, so I'll refer to it as a tweaker sometimes. And you'll want to use your tweaker to test for power. And once you know power is good, you're going to want to take your flathead screwdriver, depending on the screw, and you're going to want to unscrew this cover so you can get into here. And then you're going to want to, depending on the screws, it's usually when taking a wall plug out, it is a Phillips head screwdriver. So then you'll want to take that out. And this is safe to touch now since the power is out. And then you'll want to pull this out as much as you can. And so then you have all these wires back here. And you'll want to remember your white wire is your positive wire. And it always goes onto this silver screw, if you can see that. And then you have your black wire, which is your negative wire. And this always goes onto the golden screw. And then you have your green wire, but this is a pretty old one in my garage, so I won't actually be taking it out because it's kind of crusty and stale. But you'll normally have a green wire now, and it's usually coated in plastic like these ones that'll go to this green screw, and that's your ground. But we can tell it's the ground because it has a green wire nut on it, and wire nuts just tie power together in two different disconnected wires. And so when you want to disconnect it, you'll find the wire you want to take off. And you will just unscrew it here, and you'll just go counterclockwise with that to unscrew it. And then you'll do that to your white wire on your silver screw, your green wire on your brown green wire on your green screw, and then you'll do the same thing to your black wire, your negative wire on your gold screw. And then that will let you be able to pop it off, and then you'll be able to take your new one and put it on. And then that's where you also do the same thing where you connect your green to green, white to silver, and black to gold. And so once you got those back in, when you're screwing these on, you want to kind of loop the wire. I can't tell if you can see that. You want to loop the wire around the screw to where it goes clockwise with the screw. And then once you have it in, you'll want to tighten it down and screw it down, because you want it rubbing with the wire so it's not splicing or just tearing it apart. And then so once you have your wire back in, you'll get it pushed back in, and then you will screw your wire back in, your plug back in. And then you will put your wall cover back on. And then you can restore power, and your plug should be working again. You can go back to using it safely. And so for assessment, you can have students, it was basically 10 rules, and they'll be included in my lesson plan sheet, but you can have students remember these 10 steps, the 10 steps to just taking this apart, putting it back together. And it's a pretty basic overview for anyone that can do it. You just want to be careful when you do it just because the electricity can really be a problem. And that is my lesson.